The war in the Middle East is really, really terrible, and lots of people are suffering, and I really hope that it turns out as well as it can do for everybody who's been involved, and everybody that's in the danger zone gets out. But if you are in the danger zone and you're traveling, then you're probably stuck. Now, I am also stuck. Now, just like Non-Stop Dan, who's also stuck, my situation is slightly different. So I work for an airline, and therefore I have staff travel. Now, that means that I do not have a confirmed seat on any flight. So I've been trying to get back from Bali back to the UK, and so far I've had no luck. Now I'm about to start another leg of my trip to get back, so I'm going to take you on the trip, let you know how it goes. I guess the end of this video, if I get back to the UK, great, and if I don't, then well, it'll be a really long video. I don't know, but anyway, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's happening to me, and let's go on this trip together and see what happens. But I'm stuck in Asia. Can I get back to the UK? Let's find out. Let's go on the journey together. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe for more on this channel, The Uncharted Itinerary. So let's talk about my situation. So what's going on with me? Because I fly on staff travel, which is an amazing benefit, which can give you up to 90% off tickets, including business class, it means that I can travel very easily around the world, but it's only easy if there isn't a war which is causing complications. If there's a war that's causing complications, then it becomes very, very difficult. Flying on staff travel, or ID 90, if it's a 90% off ticket, is a fantastic perk of working for an airline and in aviation. But like I said, you're not confirmed. Now, normally, if everything is running smoothly, you can figure out a way to get from one place to another. There are various tools that you can use if you work for an airline to see how busy flights are and if there are any seats. And depending on how long you've been at an airline, if you're flying on the same airline you work for or not, and when you book the ticket, and whether you book it in business class or economy, and whether you can or can't depends on the airline you work for and their agreements with other airlines, what happens is you'll be listed. You'll be on a list of people, and if you're in the top 2 or 3 people, maybe you can get on if a passenger doesn't turn up or if they're delayed from another flight. But if you're like 7th, 8th, 9th and there are no seats on the flight, you're not getting on that flight. Now, pre the war, what that would mean was you can find another flight fairly easily. There are so many flights flying from Asia back to Europe. You don't have to go back to London. I could go to Amsterdam or Paris or Germany and then connect there back to the UK. But now everything is full up. All the commercial passengers, the people like you who are probably watching this video who got stranded, you have priority. That means the airlines are rebooking you onto the available flights. Now, that is what they should do, and that's fantastic. But even for you, if you've been paying full commercial price, you're not necessarily going back the way you expected to come, and you might be stuck and delayed because of what's going on in the Middle East, because none of the Middle Eastern carriers can fly you through the Middle East. And so if you want to get from somewhere like Bali, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Bangkok, you might need to go a different route. And all those routes are full up. So even as a commercial passenger, you might get stuck, but you'll get rebooked. But with staff travel, that doesn't happen. You're not rebooked. You have to rebook yourself, and you have to make an educated guess about what's going to happen. So I'm here in Bali. I'm trying to get back. I spent 2 days at Kuala Lumpur, 3 days at Kuala Lumpur, 4 days at Kuala Lumpur, going to the airport and trying to get on and being told, no, you can't get on. I can't get on any airline flying to Kuala Lumpur. I can't get on any airline flying to another hub in Asia. I can't go to Hong Kong, I can't go to Tokyo, I can't go to Taipei, I can't go to any of these places. I can't get on the flights in the first place, and normal commercial flights are full up. Like I just said, you can't physically book a commercial flight now from Kuala Lumpur or Singapore which goes anywhere other than through China, which when I looked was over £4,000 to get on. I can't afford £4,000 for an economy seat one way. That's not possible, and it's insane that they would charge that, but it's supply and demand. That's how airlines work. So what that means is I need to find a route, and the best route I can find is the insane route of flying around the world. What that means is I need to fly from Bali to Sydney, from Sydney to Los Angeles, from Los Angeles to London. And that may or may not be an easy trip, because the flights in Australia are getting full up. The flights in Los Angeles are getting full up. So I might not go the way I expect to go. I need to have some plans and some alternatives. So good news, I got a seat on the flight to Sydney on Qantas, which is fantastic news. Now, What's interesting about this is there's a really fantastic Qantas app which you can use as a passenger, which actually shows a queue of people who are waiting to get onto the plane. And it showed that I was 22nd in the queue to get onto this flight. That is a lot of empty seats required. Fortunately, there were 50 seats available on this flight, so that's why I was able to get on. But can you imagine if I was 22nd on a flight which didn't have 50 seats? I would never have any chance of getting on that flight. And that's exactly what has been happening every single other day I've been trying to fly. I'll take you on the flight. I'll show you around a little bit in economy and we'll see how the flight goes. So I'm on the flight now, sitting down in my seat. These seats are quite small, quite short, as you can see, which is a bit strange. But anyways, 5 hours, 30 minutes or so to Sydney. I'm on a flight, I'm moving, which is good. We'll see what happens afterwards, but it's progress. This seat, like I said, isn't very tall and there's no in-screen entertainment, but there is space for an iPad. So we'll try that out in a little bit when I'm going. But yeah, it's an interesting seat and we'll see what the crew are like. And I'll let you know when we get to Sydney. So let's have a look at our meal now. Let's open it up. So this is an oriental beef with rice. And we got a bit of bread there. We got a dessert. We got some orange juice. What's interesting is it's provided on a plate. So other airlines provide their meals on a tray, but you get it on a little plate, which is interesting. I'm not sure if it's better. I think it looks less fancy, but it does the job. And that's what you want. So I'm here in Sydney, which is really, really good, but I can't get on an LA flight, too busy. So I can break the journey up by going to Fiji. There's a few options: Fiji, Auckland, and then go to America. Auckland for me is like another 3.5 hour flight, and I feel like I'm going further south. Fiji is going towards the US. It's 4 hours, and then it's 10 hours to LA the next day. But because I'm flying stop, I need to know if I've got a seat. If I don't have a seat, then I have to go to the hotel here in Sydney and get a hotel here in Sydney. And obviously I'm very tired. It's 6 a.m. now. I'll be flying through the night, don't get much sleep. So I'd really, really like to know, do I have a seat on Fiji Airlines or not? Unfortunately, there's nobody in the check-in that can help me and their office is closed. So I'm now gonna have to wait maybe for 3 hours in departures for somebody to turn up for me to check if I have a seat. And even regardless, I might end up having to leave the airport if I don't have a seat. And if I do have a seat, I'm still gonna be waiting for another 5 hours. So either is not great. I'm definitely looking and feeling very tired now. Hello, so you joined me in Sydney, as you can probably tell from that and that behind me. So I did not get on my flight to Fiji, unfortunately. Fiji was sold out. I had a really, really happy check-in guy who was unbelievably happy with the fact that I couldn't get on. I don't think he was actually personally having something against me. I just think he was really, really happy in general, which was interesting. So I got stuck in Sydney. So I had to spend 24 hours in Sydney. The day is Sunday. I cannot get on any direct flights to the United States today. They're all sold out and overbooked for stop. I asked, not going to happen. There is a possibility of me getting on to Hawaii tonight. So I've put myself onto Hawaii. The Qantas app is telling me I can get on. So I won't be continental US, but I might still get to island US. And if that's the case, then I'm going to be well on my way back. There are lots of flights from Honolulu to mainland and then obviously mainland back to the UK. So fingers crossed, but here I am in Sydney. There's no luck getting on direct flights to continental US, but maybe, fingers crossed. And obviously see all the sightseers, just like me, taking pictures of the Opera House behind me. So I'm now seated on the flight to Honolulu, finally leaving Australia, though I wasn't here very long. So, a quick tour of Australia. Been raining for the day I was here. And now on to Hawaii, where let's see if the flights are okay tomorrow when the next flight is to San Francisco. And yeah, we'll take it from there and see what happens. And I might show you some things going on this flight. This is the second Qantas flight I've taken. My flight that I'm planning to take to San Francisco is Hawaiian, and then obviously back on British Airways if everything goes according to plan, but we'll see what happens. I'm at the Marriott Waikiki Beach Resort. So this has been renovated, and actually the room is pretty nice. I can't complain. 2 double beds. That seems a bit like, why are they only double beds? I've been in hotels which have like 2 queen beds or 2 king beds. That's a bit stingy, I feel. And then over here, they're doing renovations to the balcony, but you can see here Waikiki Beach from here. And there's a cool area down here which has got like a sea wall which protects you if you want to go swimming. So I'm gonna go down there and have a little look in a minute. But interesting, right? Interesting room, nice design. I like it. One thing I don't like is I hate this. Like, why do you not turn that into a shower? Why is it a bath with a shower? Some old, knackered looking bath with a shower head. Just, I don't like that Marriott. I'm sorry. Although it does have a Japanese style toilet, which is interesting. It's some weird off-brand, not Toto or anything, but it's there. But that doesn't look, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look super clean either. But overall, pretty nice room. I'm happy with it. It'll do the job. Welcome to the beach here in Honolulu in Waikiki. Actually, Waikiki Beach is just there. I'm on the bit of beach next to Waikiki, but it's a very, very beautiful area. And it's very, very busy. So there are some benefits, obviously, of getting stuck. It means that you could spend the afternoon by the beach when there are no flights and you can't get onto your next location. So that's the positive thing of it. So there are some benefits. The negatives are paying for expensive hotels and paying for extra flights and paying for extra food and using all your savings that you had for your next holiday to get back from this holiday. Some observations about the water in the beach here. First of all, the beach and the water here is cooler than in Bali. So I googled this is because Bali's obviously closer to the tropics, it's closer to the equator, so the water is much warmer, it's more shallow. Hawaii has got lots of cool water currents around the volcanoes which make up the Hawaiian Islands, and so the water temperature is cooler. Also, when I came out of the water, I smelled bad. And now I didn't go fully in the water, I literally just went up to like waist height, and I came out and I stunk. Apparently that's because, look how busy it is. All the people with all their chemicals are dipping in the water, and right here in front of all the hotels, it means that there is a lot of chemicals in the water. It's not unhealthy, but it means there's dirt, there's germs, and it smells. So you definitely need a shower. You don't get that in Bali. So it looks really inviting, but you don't smell very good when you come out of it. And I haven't even been rolling around in it like lots of the people out there. I just literally went in it up to my waist, checked what it was like, realized it was colder, and came out again. And that's it. So first time I've ever been to Hawaii. Interesting place, very American. I went up and I went to a really, really famous place to do poke bowls. It was featured in the Jolly Food channel. It's not called the Jolly Food channel, but the Jollies who make food stuff on YouTube. I keep forgetting what it's called, Tanioka, something like that. I'll put the name on the screen. Amazing poke bowl, really, really good. Loved it, it was fantastic. Definitely would come back again. I wanted to try 2 different kinds of salmon though, and the other kind of salmon, the unami salmon, they ran out of, and they didn't want to make any more, even though it was only 11:30, and they'd obviously sold out of it because it was popular. They didn't want to make any more, which seems a bit weird to me. But they're very busy. They're open at 9, they close at 2. They're only open 5 days a week, and there's a queue outside. It's unbelievable. So amazing poke bowl. Ruined every other poke bowl I'm ever going to have again. Really, really has. But it's an interesting experience. So anyway, I'm here in Hawaii. Going to go have a nap now because I am absolutely exhausted. That's why I'm wearing my sunglasses and my cap. And then we'll see about my next flight to San Francisco. Does it happen? Will I get on? Fingers crossed. But that's Hawaii. Nice day here. Onwards to the not so nice San Francisco. Although that's being a bit mean about San Francisco. I'm not going to leave the airport, so it won't matter. If everything was according to plan, I won't leave the airport. But yeah. And also, as for the Qantas flight over, it was perfectly all right. 10 hours or 9 hours and 50 minutes. Felt like forever in economy. Could not get comfortable. There was no Wi-Fi, but it was fine. As fine as you can get for 10 hours in economy. Onwards. I'm waiting at the gate here in Hawaii. I've been told, I'm not sure I've got a seat. I'm 24th on the standby list. I don't understand American Airlines. They're a bit weird how they've got like a standby list, and then that's not just for people getting on like who are staff. It's also for normal passengers to change from economy to premium economy or comfort plus, whatever they call it. So I just have to wait and see. Hopefully I get on. If I don't get on this flight, I'm gonna have to stay another night because there's no connections which arrive basically, or it basically will arrive too late. So I'm going to get on, even though it's only 11 a.m. here, due to the 5-hour time difference and the 2-hour difference to the mainland. I wouldn't make any connecting flights to the UK, so I probably have to stay here tonight. Fingers crossed. I am hopeful because I can see on a staff traveler app that there are like 27 seats, and I'm, I think, 24th on the queue, so I should be okay, but they won't commit to it. American Airlines seem to be pretty disorganized, I'm not gonna lie. That reminds me of other experience I've had here, but anyway, all I can do is wait and see. So I got on to Hawaiian, which is great. So I'm on the plane, so on the way to San Francisco now. Very chilled on here. They gave you a free cocktail as well, free rum punch, which was nice. And they fill these really fancy bottles of water, which is very expensive, but Hawaiian water, which is really good. So anyway, so I'm on the plane, on the way to San Francisco. So 2 hours when I get there to transfer should be an easy walk. And it's not pretty, fingers crossed. I'll be on the way back to London after getting stuck for 2 weeks almost. But yeah, that's great. So here I am. I got my ticket for London, so I'm going to finally get back after like 8 days of trying to get back. I'll share some more thoughts with you once I'm on the plane, but I'm on the way back. You can see the plane behind me here. Here I am on British Airways, sitting in my seat in business class, finally on the final leg home. So a journey that started on the day that the war in Iran started, which I think was 28th of February, the last day of February. And now it's the 9th or almost the 10th. And I'm on my way back finally after such a long time. It's definitely been an experience, there's no doubt about that. And I've got to visit places that I wasn't planning on visiting. And that's been an experience. When I started this journey, going on holiday to see my partner, I did not expect to have to travel all the way around the world to get home and add 7 to 8 days to my trip. But the war changed everything. It made it impossible to fly back directly on staff travel, and with airlines embargoing seats so no staff could fly and other flights being cancelled, and the loss of the flights across the Middle East where lots of customers were stopping in Doha or Dubai or Abu Dhabi and then continuing on to Asia, meant that it was overcrowded. There was no way back, and after spending a week trying to get back, the only option that was left was to fly this insane route. And so I did it, and I've had some changes along the way. Originally, I wasn't planning on stopping in Hawaii, I was planning on stopping in Fiji. It was closer to Sydney, and then it would have been a 10-hour flight to San Francisco that I just left. But because it was full, I therefore had to fly to Hawaii. And I got to see Hawaii, I got to see Waikiki. That was really interesting, and it's a lovely place, very expensive, but a lovely place. And then I wasn't sure that I could get out of Hawaii. The only flight which I've been sure I was going to get on with is this flight, because I could see that it wasn't full up. And so here I am on my way back. Wow, what a week. What 8 days. When I go and see Novi again, I'm going to have to figure out whether I have to do this all over again, because I'm going to need to take a longer holiday if I have to fly across the world to get back. Fingers crossed the war in the Middle East finishes quickly. You might be watching this video in a year or 2 years time and it's still going on, or it could have been finished 2 days after I made this video and put it out, or even 2 days after I made this video before I even put it out, because this video is going to take quite a lot of editing. But if it finishes, then hopefully everything will go back to normal. And then the flights won't be so complicated. Oh wow, what an experience.